Hey folks, welcome back to the Beer Wrench Garage, and in today's video we are going to try out a super fascinating new tool that I got my hands on and show you how it works. But before we get into that, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. For the last number of videos I haven't been asking for thumbs up, and folks just aren't being forthcoming unless you ask for them. So please go ahead and give me that thumbs up, and I promise you this will be a pretty interesting video. So what we have here is the AUXITO dual jumpstart air compressor tool. It's model AJ01, and I got my hands on it because AUXITO reached out to me and asked to see if I would be interested in trying any of their products. They make like a lot of LED lights and that kind of stuff, and I wasn't interested in any of that, but I did find this super fascinating because, like I said, it's an air compressor and a jump starter, which are two things that you absolutely need as a DIYer. So the concept is phenomenal, but how does the reality work? So I said, go ahead and send me one. And again, full disclosure, they sent me this, and all I promised that I would do for them is review it objectively and give you my opinion on it. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Otherwise, let's take a look and see what this thing is and what it comes with and how it works, and finally test it out. Come on. So the product comes in this box here, and mine kind of showed up a little bit, worse for the wear, but who cares about the exterior packaging. Once you open it up, it comes with a really nifty carrying case with a handle and sort of like a solid exterior, so it won't get smushed or whatever, or at least not as easily smushed. So once we open this up, we will find the accessories in this little pocket. So this seems to be the air inflator hose, the jumpstart cables, inflating needle for like basketballs and whatnot, and then some inflating nozzles. I believe this is a charging cable to charge the device. Instruction manual, this little flap to separate the device from the accessories, and then the device itself. Again, model AJ01. All right, so let's go ahead and turn it on. And it comes with, excuse me, if you're wondering, this is the first time I've touched it or turned it on, it comes with 80% of battery life. So first thing we'll do to give a fair kind of, what do you call it? A fair assessment, we will charge it to make sure it's at 100%. So USB-C charger, so we'll go ahead and go plug this in a appropriate receptacle for it to charge. And the instructions or the packaging says it takes 3.5 hours for a full charge, but we know it's at 80%, so hopefully it won't be that long. All right, so I've plugged it in, and let it get to 100% before we put it to the test. All right, so folks, since I don't have a vehicle at the moment with a bad battery or dead battery, or any leaking tires, thankfully, knock on wood, we're gonna have to simulate some, or we're gonna have to prepare some test conditions. So we have a really good battery, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be around 12.5 or 12.6 volts. Yep, 12.58. I don't think you can see the, doesn't really matter. You take my word for it, but 12.58 volts. So perfect battery. What we're gonna do is we'll go ahead and leave the key in the ignition, put it on the accessory, leave the headlights on, and the radio is on as well. And let that sit overnight. Let's see what happens. That should drain the battery pretty well. So this is batteries from November of 22. So it's not brand new, but it's not super old either, just under 2 years old. So it's well within its, you know, like service life. So with the lights on, and the accessory mode on, we'll let this sit for the evening. And in the morning, it should very likely be dead, or at least low enough that it won't start the car. You know, this isn't a small motor. It's a 4.7 liter V8. So it's going to need a little bit of oomph to turn that starter. Next thing we're going to do, again, like I said, I'm very happy I don't have any leaky tires, but we're going to simulate a tire leak. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a Schrader valve tool, and I'm going to come here. And if you don't know this, you can deflate a tire totally by taking the Schrader valve out. Now, I hope this doesn't blow up because it's fully inflated. But if it does, you get some you'll get some entertainment value. I don't think it will, but it might sound kind of sound a little scary. But in any of these little nozzles or little nipples for inflating the tire, you have a little Schrader valve, just like your AC system. In fact, a tool like this does both ACs and tires. But you rotate it to open it just like you would a screw, and then start letting air out. Again, I hope it doesn't explode, so bear with me. Okay, I just did take the valve out because I wanted to show you. But this is what a Schrader valve looks like.
So dark and cold-hearted, I'm breathless to say the least. So far from a superstar, and my daydreams are killing me. Feel like I'm losing my mind. I'm never feeling okay. Good.
So yeah, in case you were wondering how a Schrader valve works for a tire, that's how it works. It sits on this tool. This is exactly the same type of Schrader valve tool, except I think this is torque indicating, meaning it'll torque it down. As you can see, the tire is now completely deflated, and we'll put our Schrader valve back in. And this will do the little click so we know we're torqued. Okay. All right, folks. So we have our battery sabotaged. We have our tire sabotaged. We just need to give it some time. We'll give it overnight. Let the battery lose its juice. We'll let the AUXITO charge. And then when we come back, we'll see just how the AUXITO does, because we're going to simulate a dead battery and a fully deflated tire. All right, so let's see how she does. All right, folks, so it's now the next morning, and as you can see, this tire is completely flat, just like we left it last night. And the battery is now dead. Now, truth be told, I checked on this before I went to bed last night, maybe about 4 or 5 hours since I set it up, and the battery had already drained. But we'll see what it shows now. So once I saw the car was dead, I turned the key back off to the off position and just went to bed. But let's see what it looks like right now. So interestingly, it didn't drain as much as I thought it would. It still shows 11.5 volts. This may not be enough to start the car. It might be. Let's go ahead and see what it does at 11.5 volts. So this is typically, you'd have a battery drain if you got like some kind of, whatever. Battery's been sitting, you might have a little bit of a parasitic drain. 11.5 volts, I'll be surprised if it starts the car, but let's see. Yep, better than a doornail. And then if we come back over here to our charging area, our unit is at 100%. This came off at 80% out of the box. I plugged it in and I removed it from the plug when I went to bed, so I didn't have it charged all night unnecessarily. It was really a couple hours worth. Anyway, so first thing is first, we're going to go ahead and set up for the charge. And this works just like any other battery jumper that you would have. You plug in the cables. All right, so at a full charge or full charge for the tool, we'll go ahead and connect the tool to the battery. Okay. And as soon as we connected it, it started drawing power from the jump starter. It's at 94 right now. Let's go ahead and give it a whirl and see if we can get it going. All right, so that got it going for a second, but it didn't catch. So when this green light is flashing, I don't know if you guys can see that. When this green light is flashing like this, the tool is asking you to reset. So we'll go ahead and redo it. Okay, now we're at 88 on the tool, 88%. Okay, connect the negative and the positive first. Well, should have I just connected the positive. Here goes the negative. All right, the tool is sending juice to the battery. We'll go ahead and give her a whirl. And so if you notice the green light turned green, that means it's ready to go. So So that did the trick. Still have 86% of the tool's charge left. So we'll take the tool off. So it passes the first test on a mildly drained battery. Knocked it out of the park, no problems. All right, folks, so our next test here is going to be seeing if we can get this AUXITO inflator to inflate this completely dead tire to at least drivable conditions, ideally 36 psi. So we go ahead and get the inflating cord or inflating hose, the inflating hose into the tool like this. All right. Now the tool has a relatively decently sized hose, but if you're in a situation where you need some more length, it might behoove you to have something to set the tool up on, like this, a couple blocks or a brick or whatever. All right, we'll go ahead and get this in here. We'll go ahead and turn the tool on, and it allows you to program the various PSI settings that you want. You saw that it's already on 36 from the factory, which is exactly what I want. And then if I hold this down for a second, it should go. So let's give it a whirl and see how long it takes to inflate this tire, or if it does so at all. All right, folks, so 84% inflated that whole tire, and it only took about a couple or a few percent of the juice for the tool. So really cool. Hey, so folks, just a quick note on the inflating the tire. I think the phone timer had like 20 minutes, 20 and a half minutes or so, just around 20 and a half minutes. I was gone. Like, there was a 5.5 minute period where this thing shut off. It might have just been, it got overheated because it was on that little rubber block. So there was a 5.5 minute period where this stopped working, and I was outside of the garage. Once I came back and restarted it, as you saw, it went straight to 36 PSI. And once it was standing on its own, weight, there wasn't anything blocking the vent, so it didn't overheat or whatever. Either way, once you calculate all the exact time and take that 5.5 minutes out, it was just about 15 minutes. So this thing went from 0 PSI on a big, like, SUV off-road tire, not technically an off-road tire, but you get my point. A big 18-inch SUV tire, from 0 PSI to 36 PSI in 15 minutes or so. So not bad at all. Especially that beats pulling out the spare. Probably did that quicker than I could have been able to bring the spare down and get the wheel off and the spare on. So a couple other cool features. This thing has a light, like many of these do, but the light will strobe and flash, and it will be a red light as well. And then, of course, we talked about it. You can use that inflator to do, bike tires or basketballs and like rafts or whatever. And then it's also got a output cable to charge electronics or laptops. It does come with a 24-month warranty. Like I said before, it has a protective case that looks real nice. So it works really well. A couple of things that you should be aware of, and I didn't have a chance to test. The operating temperature for charging is, I don't know if you can see that or not, 32 Fahrenheit to 113 degrees Fahrenheit. So in the United States, you're not going to get too many places that go above 113 degrees Fahrenheit, so I'm not worried about that. But 32 degrees is just above freezing, and so here in Missouri in the winter and spring, it's going to get below freezing, way below 32 in other parts of the United States. So I'm curious how this would work in 10, 20 degree weather, which on a weak battery. And I'll probably try that out later this year when it gets cold, but keep that in mind. I'm sure it'll work, but I don't know how much that'll degrade. So, but keep that in mind. I don't know how this compares to other competitors in the market, but definitely something to know. The other thing is, I don't have any specs on the exact power output. I know it's rated for 12-volt car batteries, but bigger engines, I don't know how that's going to work. Like you saw, we had our battery down to 11.5 volts, which isn't super drained, and it took a couple tries to get it going. So I don't know how it would do if it was a lower level of voltage or a bigger engine that it had to turn. But for most passenger cars and light trucks, I think anything barring a fully dead battery, you're going to be fine with. And the other thing is, like I said, I guess it stopped or overheated when it was inflating. Not a big deal, not a big issue. Just kind of make sure it's not no vents blocked or whatever. But just again, something to be aware of. All in all, I feel like this is a really significant tool to have in your car, especially if you're kind of like spend a lot of time on the road, do a lot of like adventure camping and stuff like that, or just to have it in like a family member's car. If you have younger drivers or like your wife or daughter or whatever, and you want to have that extra measure of protection, I think this is a phenomenal tool for the price. But like I said, I will leave that affiliate link down below in case you want to buy one of these. It'll help out our channel just a little bit. After it's all said and done, this will end up being around 110, 120 bucks shipped to your door. And again, a lot of good insurance for not that much money. So always good to have in the car. Personally, I would just charge these every time I change the oil for that particular car and just let it ride with the car. Anyway, another big thanks to the folks at AUXITO. This looks like a solid product. Not much to say against it. And as you saw, it really came through in sort of a, relatively difficult challenges we put it out for. So I hope you liked that video. Please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you have one of these or have any questions about one of these, let me know in the comments. And otherwise, thank you for watching, and we'll see you later on our next video.